Within every worry is an opportunity for positive action. In every lie, there is a kernel of truth. Behind every neurotic symptom is the misdirected desire to live fully and well. David K. Reynolds. Constructive living. Have you ever wondered what stress is and why you experience it? Most people believe a situation can be stressful. The truth is, stress doesn't exist outside of yourself, and therefore, no situation can be said to be stressful in itself. Yet, my guess is you experience stress on a regular basis and probably more often than you would like to. Stress alone is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths every year. Stress does more harm than many diseases and leaves countless families grieving and the loss of a loved one. This is why it is essential you take active steps towards reducing your stress levels. Taking responsibility for your stress. It is first step. Remember that. Stress is something you have some control over and therefore must take responsibility for. The more you take responsibility for it, the better you will be able to reduce it. Stress happens for various reasons and manifests in numerous situations. The traffic jam on your way to work, a business presentation, tension with your boss, or frequent disputes with your spouse all constitute potential sources of stress. There are two ways you can reduce stress: by avoiding situations you perceive as stressful, and by becoming better at dealing with stressful situations. We will see how you can use these methods to reduce your stress levels, how you can use stress to grow. First exercise. Make a list of your major sources of stress. Let's look at a specific situation that are sources of stress for you. Using the workbook, write down what caused the most stress in your typical week. Come up at least 10 things. Now reframing your stress. Emotions arise as a result of your interpretation of events. The mere fact you experience stress or any other emotion means you have added your own interpretation to what is happening. Otherwise, you would have a stress free life. Now, look at your list of stressful situations. For each situation, ask yourself the following questions: is that situation stressful in itself? Yes or no? What do I need to believe to experience stress in that specific situation? What would I need to believe to reduce or remove stress in that particular situation? And next is, let's say you are stuck in a traffic jam and you find it stressful. In that situation, stress in itself? No, not necessarily. The traffic jam exists and there is nothing wrong with it per se. What would I need to believe to experience stress in that specific situation? I would need to believe there shouldn't be any traffic jams and therefore something is wrong. The traffic jam is a stressful event in itself. I should be where I need to go instead of being stuck in traffic. I can do something about it. What would I need to believe to reduce or remove stress in that particular situation? I would need to believe that a traffic jam is a normal event like anything else. I don't necessarily have to experience stress just because I am stuck in traffic. I am here caught in a traffic jam and I don't need to be there where I want to go for a while. I can't do anything about it, so I might as well enjoy it or at least don't stress over it. Or you can say yourself that it is divine wish and I am accepting this because there is a hidden welfare for me. Dealing with worry. Worry differs from stress as as it is not the result of something you experience in the present, but a concern you have regarding events from the past or event that may happen in the future. You experience stress when you face a stressful situation in the present moment. For example, a stressful situation would be being stuck in a traffic jam or having your boss yell at you. Worrying would be remembering or anticipating, imagining these stressful situations. Interestingly, most of your worries are unnecessary for the following reasons. They happened in the past and there is absolutely nothing you can do about them, and or they can happen in the future and you can't control the future. Exercise: make a list of your worries. Make a list of things you worry about, past or future. They may be similar to the things you brought in the previous exercise. For example, your health, your financial situation, your work, your relationships, and or your family. Now write at least 10 things you tend to worry about in a typical week. Sorting out your worries. Constant worry results from trying to control events over which you have no control. When you do so, you create unnecessary stress in your life. To deal with the stress and overcome chronic worries more effectively, it is essential you learn to sort out worries. An effective way to do this is to separate the things you have control over from the things you have no control over. You can divide your worries into three separate categories: things you have control over, things you have some control over, things you have no control over, whatsoever. Things you have control. The category includes things such as actions and behaviors. For example, you can choose what to say and how to say it. You can also decide what actions you will take to achieve your goals. Second, things you have some control over. There are things you have only limited control over, such as a competition or a job interview. You can't absolutely certain you will win a tennis match, but you do have some control over its outcome. For example, you can choose to train harder or hire a great coach. Similarly, you can prepare for a job interview by conducting extensive research about the company you apply to, or by doing a mock interview. You don't, however, have absolute control over the outcome of the interview. Things you have no control over. Unfortunately, there are also many things you have no control over. These are things such as weather, the economy, or traffic jams. Sort out your worries. Look at your list of a stressful situation. Next to each item, put C means control, SC means some control, or NC meaning no control. Now, this simple act of sorting out your worries already helps reduce them. As you identify things you have no control over, you can let go of your urge to worry. Now, for things you have control over, some kind of write down what you could do about it. What concrete actions could you take to alleviate them? For things you have no control over, can you let go of your need to control them and instead accept them? Taking 100% responsibility for your stress and worries. What if you had more control over your worries than your belief? Look at the situation you have no control over and ask yourself, if I had control over them, what would I do? What would it look like? And how could I prevent them from happening? Often you will realize you have some control over these situations. This can be by changing, reframing, or eliminating them from your life. Let's say you identified traffic jams as something you have no control over. This sounds reasonable. Once you are caught in the traffic jam, you can't do much about it. But could you do things differently? For example, you can leave home earlier or take a different route. What about reframing the situation? Instead of escaping the situation mentally, you could choose to be fully present by making traffic jams a productive part of your life. You could then make the most of it by listening to audiobook. Imagine how much you could learn if you listen to audiobooks every working day for an entire year. Go over your list and look for things you have no control over. Write down what you could do to change, reframe, or eliminate these events. So, I hope it will help you a lot, and I will feel blessed if I can make a better change. Thank you very much, all of you.